We are joined now by the expert meteorologist, Danielle Moss, who has been working very hard along with your whole team to keep us on top of this weather that just seems to be going in every different direction. It's something we've got to be paying attention to, and you are helping us stay on our toes here. There's a lot going on, Danielle.
Yes, there is. We started out this morning with Chris and Chesley talking about severe weather. We had a few tornado warnings this morning, several severe thunderstorm warnings with tornado possible. We had a lot of trees down, homes damaged, and now we're focusing on winter weather, and it is definitely very interesting to say the least. The last 24 hours, we have gone from the upper 70s to now we are dropping into the 40s. And
any one of these individual forecast components would be enough for us to alert it, to be talking about it. We'd have and you guys are such pros. You just take it as it comes, and you make it simple and understandable for non-scientists like myself. I'm very grateful.
Yes, it's one of those days where it's like, you know what, this is the Super Bowl for us, because we are talking about literally almost all the weather conditions that we can get here in the Southeast, and it's very, very interesting. Let's take you to satellite and radar so you can see exactly what's going on. You can see over to the east, there are still strong thunderstorms out of our viewing area, so we're not talking about severe weather anymore. Our focus is now on this winter weather potential. In fact, so let's go ahead and zoom in to northwest Georgia. You can see that rain is changing over to snow, sleet, and freezing rain in some places. That's what that pink outline is on your screen. Now, as we put a pause to it, it is definitely accumulating some places. Here's the good news. We have been so warm that our roads are not going to be majorly impacted by this. Could they be a little bit slushy if you get too much of it? Yes, but we're not looking at anything that's going to shut the city down. People are not going to be stuck places, but you need to take your time and drive carefully, because you don't know if it's rain or freezing rain or sleet on the roads until you roll over it. So right now, closer to Metro Atlanta, we're starting to see some freezing rain change over right along that I-20 corridor. Portions of Cobb County, Douglas County, all seeing some of that changeover happen. This is live looking to Blue Ridge. Earlier, we were seeing some really big puffy snowflakes falling there. That was very beautiful. And even in Dahlonega, a little bit lighter snow, but right now it's more of a rain, not light rain, almost mist type. But then I want to bring your attention to Dade County, Georgia. I think that is very, very interesting, because Dade is honestly, we're starting to see that it's getting covered out there, Zach. It feels like a winter wonderland. If my graphics would like to change, that would be great. It looks like they might not want to cooperate with me, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And there we go. Gabby, the best producer in the land, helping us out there. That's a look into Dade County, Georgia. And really, it's in like Lookout Mountain area. So if you're looking at Lookout Mountain, if you're familiar with Chattanooga in that area, this is what it looks like there. So we're definitely seeing a big change in that area. Also, Gabby, I'm going to need you to press the space bar. I think my clicker died.
Snow accumulating there, though. You can really see it on the bushes, on the shrubs there.
Yes. And grassy areas for sure could have some accumulations. But if you're concerned about the roads, that's not going to be, your main concern tonight. Temperatures right now, 41 degrees here in Metro Atlanta. You can see exactly where the cold front is hanging out. 36 degrees in Dalton. Meanwhile, Thomaston, 50 degrees. So that's a big temperature change along the area. And if you press the space bar again, Gabby, for me, that will show you our weather impacts alert. Earlier today, it was about the severe weather. Now our focus is on the much colder weather and the below freezing temperatures. So what do you need to know? You want to make sure that you dress in layers, protect those pets, those pipes, and those people. Do it now. I mean, we're starting to dry out just a little bit. Severe weather is over, but go outside and do those protections. Gabby, press space bar for me again. Sorry, we have a lot of alerts to get through. There is a winter weather advisory until 11 o'clock tonight. So if you are watching us on 11 Alive, you see it scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Not everyone is under that winter weather advisory. It's really for northwest Georgia for the accumulating snow, maybe an inch possible. If you press my space bar again, Gabby, that might, maybe my button worked that time. It looks like maybe we can have an inch in some places. Really in North Georgia mountains, the higher elevations going to be seeing an inch. The surprise in the faces here.
Yeah, producer Gabby with some alarm and some trepidation in her eyes here, and some from myself too. Now, Danielle, you're telling us not going to be an issue for the roads.
Right.
But, I mean, 1 inch, maybe 1.5.
Yes, and this is the latest model run, so you can even kind of see it sneaking into West Georgia just a smidge, a little bit closer to Metro Atlanta than we would probably like to see. But the temperatures, the road temperatures are warmer, and that's what's key when we're talking about winter weather. especially here in the South, you need those roads to be warm enough so that it melts on contacts and you're not looking at anything that's going to be too cold. Now, overnight tonight, our temperatures are going to be very, very cold. I think my clicker died again. I'm sorry. I got to get the batteries changed in this thing. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's getting a lot of use because
Yeah.
it's been made very clear there's no shortage of weather that you are keeping track of.
Let's time it out for you. This is a look at your forecast track. And if, Gabby, you keep pushing that space bar, I'll talk you through it. 4 p.m. on Monday, we have a little less rain, more snow in those higher elevation and really into northwest Georgia. Put it into motion again for me. We'll start to see things drying out just a little bit. If you press my space bar for me, Gabby, there you go. This is 6 p.m. Your evening commute is going to be dry, but those temperatures are going to be cold. This is your actual temperature. And then as you prepare for your Tuesday morning, it's going to be even colder. There's a look at it. Dry, yes, but 6 a.m., 29 degrees. That's your actual temperature. Space bar me, Gabby. We got another alert to tell you about. This is a very busy day. A wind advisory is also in effect until 2 a.m. Tuesday. For winds, it's going to be gusting around 35 miles an hour. If you can see 11 alive, 9 times out of 10, you're under that wind advisory. And that's huge because we did get a lot of rain. There's a lot of trees that are compromised now. So that is going to increase the chance to see a lot of downed trees and maybe even some power lines as well. If you push my space bar again, I'll show you some wind gusts. It's windy right now, but over the next few hours, we're going to see the winds increasing. In fact, if you put it into motion for me, Gabby, one more time, there is a 31 mile an hour wind gust maybe around 5:30 p.m. So any trees that are compromised right now could come down. So you want to make sure that you are prepared. I would just say keep your phone charged just in case, because you don't want to be, without power. And you want to make sure that you can find your way to a shelter. There's a lot of places that have warming shelters right now for tonight because it is going to be so cold. Space bar for me. And then when we get into Monday at 9 p.m., they start to die down, but still, we're talking about wind gusts near 25 miles an hour here in the city. It's going to still be a problem and a concern as well. And then we'll be around Tuesday morning before we start to see some of those winds kind of returning to normal, but that's still going to provide a feels like temperature for us. Then as we head into the next few days, when we talk about those wind gusts, it's going to feel much colder. In fact, Monday, it could feel like 34 degrees during the coldest part of the day. But check out Tuesday morning. 29 will be your forecasted low, and it could feel like 23. That's here in Atlanta. So in the North Georgia mountains, you're anticipating to feel like the teens. And then Tuesday afternoon, feeling like 42 degrees, which brings up our next point. That is going to be another advisory for us. And that is a freeze warning. So we have another one for you. This is our freeze warning. They issued this because our temperatures are going to be below 32 degrees. You want to make sure that you are protecting your outdoor plumbing and any sensitive vegetation. I know a lot of people got ahead of themselves and went ahead and planted outside because it was so beautiful. But if you have any sensitive vegetation, you want to make sure that you are taking care of them now because they will freeze overnight. And then as we head into the rest of this week, here's the most important thing. Today, our focus is off of that severe weather. We're going to be talking about those temperatures falling. Then if you go into Tuesday, we'll start talking about those winds, making it feel much colder than it actually is. And then on Wednesday morning, we're going to shift our focus to a very cold start. So by Wednesday evening, our temperatures will slowly but surely start to climb. And then we'll be out of the woods as far as that severe weather is concerned. All that cold weather out of here. That's why we let that weather impact alert go ahead and end on Wednesday afternoon.
That's a lot. You can understand why that clicker ran out of batteries. Because it was doing a lot of clicking and a lot of weather tracking.
Yes.
Okay, so this is for my cousin who lives in Knoxville, and he is concerned about snow tornadoes. Do they exist? What are those?
Snow tornadoes. So here we have thunder snow. So what happens is you have a thunderstorm, kind of like what we saw today. If the timing was a little bit closer, you could have thunder snow. So a thunderstorm that brings you snow showers. And it's actually really beautiful to look at because you can see the lightning in the distance. You can hear the thunder rumbling, but it's actually snowing outside. So those same cumulonimbus clouds that cause regular thunderstorms will create a thunder snow event. Now, we've never really had a snow NATO, but it is definitely something where you could have some severe weather and snow at the same time. And we almost had it today. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised in Knoxville because they got that winter weather changeover a little bit quicker. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had some thunder snow earlier this afternoon.
Danielle, before we let you go, let me ask you one last question here, because we've gone through so much here, so much weather. Is this cold front that we are experiencing right now, was that almost the genesis of the severe weather we saw overnight, in the sense that that cold front was pushing and making the air in front of it more active?
Mm-hmm. It is. So what happens is when we have these big fronts, and when you're so warm like how we were this weekend, like Saturday and Sunday, you have to have the atmosphere re-regulate itself. So you have these systems that come through, and they might not necessarily be a cold front. We call this a QLCS. So it is a quasi-linear convective system. I know, big words there.
No, this is good. This is why we asked you.
So when it comes through, it has a really big impact on your temperatures, and it has almost a strong chance to have some of that severe weather really pushing ahead of the front. So it's very important that you pay close attention to the forecast. That atmosphere has to get back to the 60s. We're supposed to be in the 60s right now. We've been in the upper 70s and the 80s. So this is the atmosphere trying to re-regulate itself. It just overdid it. And that's why we had that really long severe weather event this morning. And now, because it's so cold behind that front, we're getting that Arctic air coming in from the north. We have some of those snow flurries that have been possible. So it's definitely been a whirlwind of the last 24 hours, to say the least.
A whirlwind, yeah, on the nose, literally, with the wind gusts that we are tracking among
Yes.
everything else. Danielle, thank you. Thank you for your work, keeping us on top of all of this, helping us stay on our toes.
Yes.
We're going to see you back here in a little bit.
Absolutely.